Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1506A, and today's date is February 24th, 2018, and the title of the episode is The Next Economic System Expands West. Will the U.S. join the new trade system? Now, before I get started, I just want to make an announcement. I uploaded a new interview with Harley Schlanger. It is on the X22 Report Spotlight YouTube channel. So all you need to do is go to YouTube, type in X22 Report Spotlight, or you can come over to the X22Report.com site or NewsSentinel.com site. And all you need to do is scroll down a little bit, look over to your right-hand side. You'll see the interview there. You can play it right on the site, or go to Steemit. That's steemit.com/@X22Report, and you can watch the interview right on Steemit. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now we can see the central bankers, they are not letting up on demonizing cryptocurrencies. And we need to understand this is how the establishment works. They first come out and they put out a message where they tell you how bad something is. And they keep repeating it over and over and over to make you convinced that it is bad. And I hear people around the street saying, oh, you don't want to touch Bitcoin. You don't want to do that. And they laugh about Bitcoin. They laugh about the cryptocurrencies. Just like people laughed about the internet when it was first being developed. People didn't understand it. They didn't know what it was going to be used for. They had no clue. And then all of a sudden, everyone was using it. The same thing's happening with cryptocurrencies. People hear things on the corporate media, but they really don't understand what it really is. Now, out of the Wall Street Journal, they put up an article where they're saying that terrorists are using Bitcoin for anonymous donations. And they're making this whole entire case that terrorist groups are beginning to take advantage of the anonymity of cryptocurrency to raise funds to carry out attacks. According to the report, terror organizations such as the North Syrian military group use Twitter to encourage supporters to donate cryptocurrency anonymously. And they keep going on and on about this, saying that, yes, the blockchain is made up of ledgers and people can stay anonymous, and they're using this type of function to support their terror activities. And they never really mention that cash is also used for this. Banks are also laundering money. There's already been cases against HSBC. Terror organizations, crime syndicates have been using cash all along to push their criminal activities. So their case doesn't really make sense. But what they're trying to say is that the blockchain system, without relying on the banks or exchanges or some type of entity that's centrally controlled, you're going to have this type of problem. Now, they're doing this on purpose because they realize how quickly this can move and really take over the currency system. That's what they're really worried about. Now, think about this. U.S. Olympians, they've turned to Bitcoin to offset their competition-related costs because everything costs a lot of money. They realized if they invest in Bitcoin, Bitcoin has been going up. Yes, it's come down a little bit and it goes right back up. They can make some money and they can use this to offset some of their costs. And we see right now the luge team out in the current Olympics, they've been using Bitcoin to basically allow them to do all the things they need to do to get to the Olympics. And we see right now, we have individuals, corporations, countries all moving to the crypto market. The reason for this is because they realize how easy it is to establish. I mean, think about it. Everyone has a computer. Everyone pretty much has some type of smartphone. If you're doing any type of banking, most of the people use a smartphone. They use a computer already to do their banking. And that's all you need, because once you join up to an exchange, all you need to do is take your phone everywhere to pay for things. Even online, you can pay for things using your computer or your phone, and you don't really need to make that many different adjustments to move to this new crypto system. Plus, companies, they really don't have to spend that much money to bring on the crypto system, the blockchain, to join the blockchain and to accept payments. It's really not that difficult. And the central bankers, they realize this and they understand that if this takes off, which it is, it's going to happen very, very quickly. Remember, the system is coming down. Remember, the system right now is dead. The entire system is deteriorating very, very quickly. And when Trump comes out and he tells you about, the infrastructure, tells you about all these different things, everyone is still thinking that he's doing this for the current system. He is not. I mean, the corporate media continually is, looking at what he's doing with his tax reform and all this stuff, and they're comparing it and using it, saying, oh, well, this is not going to help the current system. This is not going to do anything with the current system. This is going to damage the current system. He's not doing it for the current system. You need to step back a little bit and understand that he is doing this for the next system. And everything that he's doing right now has nothing to do with the system that we're in today. I mean, we can see there are so many different indicators out there right now. I mean, the credit markets, they are flashing red right now. And if people, those who don't understand what that means is bond spreads, well, that's an economic indicator. In terms of business cycles, widening spreads indicate a slowing economy. Since companies are more likely to default in a slowing economy, the credit risk related to their bond rises. For this reason, investors command additional interest on corporate bonds. Now, in the last few days, we've seen an ominous reawakening in the credit markets, where we're starting to see these spreads start to widen. And we see the European credit spreads are back to near cycle wides. We also see it in the United States, the same exact thing. And this is another indicator to let us know something is going on. Trump right now, his administration is looking to clarify the rules which govern whether a person can discharge student loans in bankruptcy. And we see right now that they're looking at this, and the only way to do it is if you're bankrupt, if you show hardship. Right now you can readjust your student loans. And what we need to understand that nearly 40% of student loan borrowers from the mid-2000s, they're going to be defaulting by 2023. This is according to Brookings. And this is a huge problem. Now, people are saying that the job market is absolutely fine. If it's absolutely fine, why are all these individuals going to default on their student loans? Because they're not getting the high-paying jobs, or a lot of them can't even find jobs when they come out of school. Now, Brookings released another study revealing that most borrowers who left school owing at least $50,000 in student loans in 2010 had failed to pay down any of their debt 4 years later. And we can see right now, those with floating rate loans, the pool of those drowning in debt, will only get worse as the Fed continues to hike interest rates. And this is a no-win situation. Remember, I think where we're headed here, and from all the actions, is to write off all this debt, get rid of the central bank, to move us to a brand new system. What is that new system? Well, I do believe it's going to involve cryptocurrencies. I do believe that it's going to be the Belt and Road system. And I know the central banks behind the scenes, which they're really never mentioned, they want their system, they want their currency to be issued around the world. They want a fiat currency system that they can control. They're going to make it seem fantastic in the beginning. They're going to back it with gold, or give confidence to the system with gold to say that, we're on the petro yuan, or whatever they're going to do, use SDRs, but they don't want anyone using the crypto system because that they have no control over. The only way they can have control over it is if governments pass laws and they say, yes, this is the currency you need to use. This is the coin that you need to use, and every person needs to use it, and it will be issued by the central bank. That is the only way, and if they get governments to do this, yes, we are then screwed. But we can see right now China's new Silk Road trading system, which is out throughout Asia, moving into Africa, moving into Europe. It has now reached Latin America. And we can see right now Beijing is turbocharging its infrastructure connectivity across the region and the Caribbean. And they're looking at all these different countries, and these countries, well, they're starting to join up. Now, a shift took place last month in Chile, and there was a forum of individuals that got together China and 33-member community of Latin America and Caribbean states all got together and they started to discuss the Belt and Road. And we can see right now that countries like Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Peru, and many others, they're joining the Belt and Road. And this is not only because China imports commodities such as iron ore, soy, corn, and all that. The reason they're going to be joining is because they're going to be getting investment dollars from the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. And the lending will increase. And we can see right now that Latin American countries, they're moving away from the United States. The approval of U.S. foreign policy in Latin America was around 49%. It has dropped to 24%. And we can see right now that the Belt and Road, this is the new trading system. This is the future of trade. And we can see already that China is putting a lot of money into this system. A lot of countries are joining up, and they're not being forced to. They're giving the proposal. They're going to get money to do what they need to do to join, to build the infrastructure. Meanwhile, the United States, they're stuck. The United States cannot offer these countries anything. The only thing they had to offer was the TPP. And back then, the offer wasn't that great. That's why it was shot down by so many different countries, because they realized they wanted to control the countries with a court system that laid above the governments. So if the government, wanted to do something, that court system could reject it. China and Russia, they're not doing that. They're allowing the countries to be independent. You're just joining a trade system, and they want it to be a win-win type of situation. And I think Trump has been talking to Xi Jinping, because what they really want to do in the background of what is all going on right now is to join this new trade system, because he realizes that we need to build our infrastructure here. That's why he put forth the infrastructure bill. It's not for today's system. It's not because he's going to, all of a sudden take what we have today and rebuild it and we're going to become a manufacturing powerhouse. He's rebuilding the infrastructure, bringing back as much manufacturing as he possibly can to the country, preparing the country for a transition into a brand new system. This is why I don't think he cares about writing off the debt. Remember, he's a master of bankruptcy. He understands when something needs to completely go away and it has to be reborn. This is what we're seeing right now. He realizes, and he knows all the stats just like we do, the country is in big, big trouble. Now, can you imagine if you tell the population that we're bankrupt, we have nothing, the country, we're keeping it alive by manipulating all the statistics. Actually, the whole thing is fake. The country would implode right now, and he wouldn't be able to do anything. So what he's doing right now is using their system, using their techniques to build and to prepare the country for a transition into a brand new system. And that's why he keeps saying, let's make America great again. And this is exactly what he is doing. He is bringing us to the next level. Now, the central bankers, on the other hand, they want the system to be moved to their new system. And they don't care what happens to the country. They can care less, because this is their garbage system right now. They don't care about it. They know it's dead in the water. They just don't want to be blamed for it, because then they can't set up shop someplace else. They don't care if it comes down hard. They don't care how many people are ruined. It makes no difference to them. So here we are. There is a transition headed our way. There's a new trade system. The question is, when will the U.S. join? When will it happen? I think as we're going through the transition, at that time, the announcement will be made that we need to join China's Belt and Road. And everyone in Congress and everyone around, they won't be able to say anything, because this will be the only alternative at this point. And we could see that time is coming very, very quickly. And we're going to have to be ready for this, because we're going to go through a period of time, depending on how this all plays out, where we're going to be transitioning into something completely different, which means the credit market's most likely going to freeze up. There'll probably be oil shortages. unless we use whatever we have here in the States, and I think that's what they've been preparing for. We're going to see that people are going to be losing a lot of their wealth. Things that we thought that we had, that's going to completely disappear. A lot of the debt is going to disappear as we move to a brand new system. So you need to be ready and prepared, and you need to protect yourself. How do you protect yourself? Well, you can invest in cryptocurrencies. You can also have gold and silver, because that is going to increase in value, and you're going to be able to use this to maybe purchase the cryptocurrency, purchase the new currency. You also need food, water, supplies, because as inflation hits, because as we know, it's going to hit, because the dollar is going to lose value very, very quickly, and we're going to see the credit markets freeze. There's going to be a lot less on the shelves. Just like when we came off of the system, the gold system back in the 70s, and we're moving on to the petrodollar system, there was a little bit of turmoil during that period where there were gas lines, jobs. Nobody could find a job at that time. Yes, interest rates were very high because they started to print a lot of money, currency, I should say. And we can see right now that was a small hiccup. This is going to be a little bit larger because we're coming off this reserve currency, and we will no longer be the reserve currency. So things are going to change rapidly, and this is what you need to be prepared for. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.